When it comes to survival horror, I'm a bit of a veteran. I've played a lot of games in my day. I've beaten Outlast 2, even though we don't talk about that one. And most recently, I've been playing a lot of Alien Isolation, and I actually beat it. I think that it's definitely up there on one of my favorite survival horrors of all time. I really had a good time with it. But when it comes to survival horror, there is no game that is able to scare me, or at least did scare me, more thoroughly than Little Nightmares. This game is not a little nightmare, it's a fucking massive nightmare that won't leave my brain. I try to sleep, and this game just somehow wiggles its way back into my train of thought, and it pops back up, and I'm like, oh, I didn't want to think about this. This sucks. But there is one guy in Little Nightmares specifically that scares the shit out of me. But we'll get to that later. You start off the game waking up in this dingy basement in this suitcase after watching a weird cutscene which you presume is your mother. I have no fucking idea. This game's story is like Dark Souls lore times 1 billion. You wake up, you realize you're a bit of a pothead, you go on your merry way and realize that you're on a fucking ship because everything's tilting side to side. And if I'm completely real for a second, during the early portions of this game, this tilting side to side can create this kind of dream-like, I guess you could say, nightmare effect that really makes everything not feel real, which really adds to the psychological horror that you're experiencing from waking up in a place you know nothing about. You continue walking through these next areas, you get harassed by some leeches, eels, black slugs, I don't know what the fuck these things are, but they throw me in some black goo and harass me for like a whole level. It's not fun. It's really not fun at all. But honestly, none of that is too bad until you get to him. Most of the horror is atmospheric world building and sound design through the early parts because you don't really have many threats trying to actively kill you. And then you spot this fucker dragging a nice little case along the ground, and it's like, hey, that's kind of spooky. What are you doing up there, Mr. Long-armed freaky fuck? This fucking basketball player looking ass is terrifying to me. I have no idea why. This dude shouldn't be scary. He looks like you could fucking drag down his face and it would reveal just a stone ball as a head. Yet this guy is able to dig his very long arms and fingers into my brain and give me nightmares anytime I think about him. He fucking scares me. Even recording footage for this game to make this video, I was honestly mildly unsettled by this guy because he scares me that fucking much. After being harassed by leeches, you go into this nice little bedroom area. He walks in, makes some fucking weird little noises, and then leaves. So that's your first introduction to this guy. He's in an orphanage surrounded by sleeping children. Yeah, dude, that's not a good look when your name is the janitor. After going through that orphanage bedroom area, you play the most deadliest game of red light, green light ever. And then move on to the next few rooms. Most of the rooms after this are just empty and there's not really much to say, so I'm just gonna move on to the next level. After getting real hungry and eating some meat out of a cage and then being kidnapped by Mr. Long-armed Bastard, you end up in his abode, which initiates the scariest part of the game by far for me, including the last level and one other exception that I'll get to later. You end up in this dude's bedroom after some fun bucket time. Bucket. You find out that this dude has a bedroom. He might have a body in his bed, but that doesn't matter. Look at this boy. Look how handsome this boy is. How could this boy be scary? Just look at him. He's got a nice little hat. He's got a nice skin folding down, revealing his skull. I don't know. Don't think about it too much. You snag the key and run over to this door and leave and move on. You go up a nice little elevator that is actually pretty snazzy, I gotta say. And then you end up in the... This guy's grabby arms are the most terrifying thing to me, and I have no idea why. He's actually blind, so in terms of gameplay, he's not that much of a threat. You just gotta sneak around and make sure you don't make too much noise. Hey. But yeah, you grab this lever, you open this shit, you jump in this hole, and you move. You casually run by a shoe monster, eating anything that falls into its massive pit of shoes, and move on to the next zone, where you find this dude just kind of vibing. He chases you down this hallway into another elevator, and then begins this entire tense chase scene from right here to the very end of the level. It is fucking, on a first playthrough, this genuinely scared the shit out of me and caused me some nightmares, if I'm being completely honest. After running through that hallway, you go through a short little stealth sequence that took me way too many tries than I'd like to admit on a first playthrough. You get up to this little area, you hop in this vent, and you move on. Now, this fucking library has given me the most shakes I have ever had in a horror experience. And when I say shakes, I mean like physically shaking. Like my hands were actually like wiggling like a fucking fish out of water. It was not fun. I was very scared. You go over here, you turn on this TV that may or may not be foreshadowing for the second game, which got announced a while back, which is exciting. Hype. You use it to distract him, and then you grab this lever, put it in this thing, and come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Whew. There we go. Eat that, motherfucker. Hey, guy, do you want me to play you a song? I call this, the key of C in death. This guy is so viscerally horrifying for me, probably because of his very strange yet kind of human-looking appearance, his long-ass arms, his nice little fedora, though how weirdly short this guy is. Like, this guy is like... Hold on. What? The fucking Little Nightmares wiki doesn't even know how tall this guy is? Look at him, he looks like fucking 4'3". Anyway, you do some running through a mine, and then finally, you get the squish! Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Just casually remove this guy's arms. I know I said I hated him about like 2 minutes ago, but still, it's kind of fucked up. This guy will forever stick with me in my nightmares, because holy shit, this guy is scary. Now, if we take a look to the other side of the spectrum, not scary, we'll take a look at that at the end of the video, but to more scary. Somehow, I didn't expect this game to scare me more than that lanky-armed fuck, because I beat the game, and nothing came close to that guy. I don't know why he scared me so heavily, but he did. Then I thought my worries were gone, and then they released the DLC. And in that DLC, there's a level called the Depths. And wouldn't you know it, it's a water level. And we all know my experience and history with water level. I'm looking at you, Subnautica.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my...
So in this level, there is this woman known as the Granny, and I'm pretty sure that she's married to the janitor because they both look like fucking nightmares. She lives underwater, which explains why there's a bunch of furniture nailed to the ground in some areas in the main game and the DLC, which was a nice touch. I thought that was cool. You then have to swim through this sewer-like area, solving puzzles and dealing with this Granny the entire time. You eventually kill her by knocking an on-TV into the water and electrocuting her to death, but that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is how when you get in the water, this bitch will follow you and make weird moaning noises and then slowly reach her hand out of the depths and grab you and pull you in. Like, no thanks! Are you trying to make me never want to go into any large body of water ever again? Because that's what it's doing. Anyway, Grandma's pretty spooky. I don't like her that much. She really scares me. I don't like her. But anyway, now if we go to the other side of the spectrum and check out the not really scary parts of the game. And when I say not scary, I don't mean in the Outlast 2 sense where it can just get kind of boring. I mean it in the best way possible. These chefs are the funniest fucking thing to me. I cannot take them seriously, and I don't know why. I mean, look at this dude. How could you be afraid of this guy? He's just really passionate about his craft. Even if that means shoving a child into a dead fish. But still, just look at this guy. How could you hate him? And of course, there's two of them, taking a step up from the previous level, giving you 2 enemies instead of 1. But still, these guys I cannot take seriously. They're just so goofy looking. Look at his big meaty sausage fingers and his weird flappy face. I can't be scared of this guy. Just look at him. Oh, whoa. We're already at the end of the video? What? I thought I had more time. What the fuck? This video isn't scripted. I mostly just wanted to try talking about something without a script and see how it goes, and I feel like it went pretty well. This video is completely all over the place and doesn't make any sense at all, but I hope it made someone laugh, and I hope you had a good time watching it if you watched it all the way through. If you made it this far, thank you. I'm working on some reviews, I'm working on some movie reviews, I'm working on some live action projects. I got some stuff planned that I want to try, and I really hope that you'll stick around and allow me to really blossom and try some cool shit. Anyway, thanks for watching. Roll the outro.